Hey Fireflies, I hope you're doing well. It's been several weeks since my last video on purple martins. In that video, you learned what it meant to do a nest check. You learned how to identify male and female purple martins. And you got to see inside some of the gourds to see what the purple martins have been up to here in my backyard. And over the last few weeks, a lot has changed, and I've continued to do nest checks every week to keep up with what the purple martins have been doing here at my house. So in the last video, we saw that the purple martins had made 11 nests in the 16 gourds here behind my house, and I can say that there's been a lot more going on here than those 11 nests. So I hope that you enjoy this video and you get to learn some new things about purple martins, and you get to see what these birds have been up to over the last few weeks here in my backyard. Let's do a nest check to find out what these purple martins have been up to. When getting ready to lower the housing, it helps just to give a little knock on the pole, just to let the martins know that you're lowering their housing. They really don't mind. They'll fly out and fly around for a bit until you raise the housing back up, and they'll swoop right back in and get back to whatever they were doing. I've got my nest data sheet, a pencil, some gloves, and a trash can, just in case there's something to throw away. When doing a nest check, you carefully look inside each housing compartment or gourd to observe what you see inside. Whatever you observe, you record on your nest data sheet. And look what I found. Surprise! The first egg. More eggs. How exciting! On this day, during this nest check, I found that each of the 16 gourds had a nesting pair of purple martins that had made a nest, and at this time there were a total of 12 eggs that the purple martins had laid. About a week has gone by, so it's time to do another nest check. One thing about purple martins and egg laying is that they lay one egg every morning until they've laid a full clutch of eggs. For purple martins, a full clutch is anywhere from about 3 to 5 eggs. They might lay as few as 1, or they could lay as many as 6 or even 7 eggs. Wow, 6 eggs. Now that's going to be a full nest. Another nest with 6 eggs. Whoa, now that's a surprise. This female purple martin did not want to leave her nest. I know it seems strange, but it's not uncommon to find an adult purple martin still inside the gourd when you take the housing down. They're very protective over their nests and pretty trusting of humans. So last week there had been 12 eggs that the martins had laid. This week, they're up to 52 eggs. The next week was a pretty tough week for the purple martins. Remember we talked about how purple martins eat by catching flying insects? Well, it was really cool and rainy for about 4 days, which made it really hard for the purple martins to be able to find enough food. But now that the sun's back out, the purple martins are really happy because they have plenty to eat. Let's learn something new about being a good purple martin landlord. You might have been wondering what this contraption is on the martin pole. So this here is called a predator guard. And as you might know, a predator is something that actually hunts and will eat other animals. So in this case, the predator that we're talking about or referring to here is a snake. And most often, especially around here in North Carolina, it's going to be a black snake. So black snake can get really, really long, 5 or 6 feet long at times, and black snakes can easily climb a marten pole. But with the predator guard here, it makes it so that the snakes cannot coil around and wrap around the pole. It's too wide, the diameter is too wide, so they can't wrap around it to get up the pole and get to the nests or the eggs or the babies or even the adult martens that are inside. So this is a really important thing to have on your purple marten housing. It's called a predator guard, and it keeps snakes away from their houses up top. Now that the rainy week is over, it's time to do another nest check to see what's going on in the purple marten houses. This time, I've got some extra help. All right, go ahead and check out number 16. See what you see in there.
No hatched. Only a lot of eggs. 4 eggs, I think. Do you want us to open number 10? They have 4 eggs.
So here is a pretty good close-up of one of the purple marten gourds. You notice a couple things about it. Here's the hole, the entrance hole, and take a look at the shape. The shape it's a crescent shape or like a half circle, and the reason for them being that shape is because that shape of hole keeps out a type of bird called a starling, which will try to come in and take over the gourd, take over the purple marten nest for its own. So if this hole was circular, the starling could get in, but because of the shape of this hole, it's going to keep starlings out so that starlings cannot make a nest in the purple marten house. Here's a picture of a European starling. You've probably seen them before, and while they look pretty, European starlings are bad news for purple martens. The European starling is a non-native invasive species and has been responsible for the decline of many native songbird species, including the purple marten and the eastern bluebird. For that reason, many purple marten landlords choose to use starling-resistant entrance holes so that their purple martens don't have to compete against European starlings. Another thing that you'll notice is this is going to be this is how you are able to see into the purple marten house. It's a cap that winds off, and then you can look inside, and you can count how many eggs and how many babies are inside. After this nest check, I found that there were a total of 75 eggs that the purple martens had laid in their nests. Only one gourd had a nest that didn't have any eggs in it yet. I wonder how many eggs will be in there next week. The purple martens also have a neighbor that lives just a few feet away in their own nest box. Can anybody guess what kind of eggs these are? That's right, it's an eastern bluebird. After birds lay eggs in their nests, they sit on the eggs to keep them warm. Sitting on eggs to keep them warm is called incubating. Purple martens incubate their eggs for 15 or 16 days before they begin to hatch. If I did my calculations correctly, one of these nests is on day 15 of the incubation period. That means that some of the eggs will begin hatching any day now. So for the next video, there should be some new surprises. This week, when you're playing outside in your yard, in your neighborhood, or in a park, maybe you can pay attention to see what kind of birds you see or hear. Who knows, maybe you'll see or hear a purple martin. Have a great week, Fireflies. I know you're all glowing at home. I sure do miss you.